hot wings, hot topics, and real estate. Host Ryan Spellerberg keeps it real with agents, investors, and insiders every month. No fluff, just good convo exploring the trends, challenges, and questions shaping today's market. Now, here's your host with over 20 years of lending experience, Ryan Spellerberg.
They're on fire. Hey everybody, Ryan Spellerberg with another episode of Hot Topics here. It's going to be great. We've got a little bit of a newer agent who is crushing it, Dan Stratton. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
He said he's not a spicy wing guy, so we're going to have some fun.
I'm about as Midwestern as it gets, so and spicy food makes me sweat, so it might be
awesome.
It might be tough.
This is going to be great.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, get after the first one. It's Medium Buffalo. Our sponsors, Atomic Wing. Thanks for what you guys do. We really appreciate you. So, before anyone had ever heard of DoorDash, today's guest spent nearly 8 years building a restaurant delivery company in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
He's also been serving in the South Dakota Army National Guard for over 17 years. So thank you for doing that, and somehow found time to become one of the fastest rising real estate agents at Keller Williams in Sioux Falls. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's the first wing?
It's all right. I can handle this.
Okay, good. Well,
this.
it's
not
the
so
same
bad.
temperature throughout, so you'll be just fine.
Is it?
No, not at all.
Are you sure about
not
that?
at all.
Okay, thanks. Good, I'm glad.
So, Dan, for those of you who don't know about you, how'd your career take off so fast in just 4 years in the business?
Yeah. Well, when we were shutting the doors on my delivery business, you know, I started interviewing at places, and basically the two options that I had, I was living in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg at the time, and the two options I had were either life insurance or real estate. My degree's in music, so I really had no options for something like that around here. I'm kind of a singer on the side, so I do that as a side thing. And when I interviewed, I originally joined the Tyler Goff group at Hague, and I love Tyler. I interviewed with him and Nate. And
Bears fan?
Bears fan, yeah, absolutely. And they were great guys. And when I was kind of comparing the two jobs, it was kind of a no-brainer. There was something that Nate said during the interview process that was, you know, there's a sentimentality to real estate that I really liked. I always like sales. I like business. But you get to put people in their first homes, and then they have families, and then their families grow, and they need more space, and they sell the house. And so you get to have this sales experience, this business experience, you know, working with contracts and wheeling and dealing and doing all that negotiating. And it is a very business environment, but there's a sentimentality to sales that I really appreciated. And so for me, it was almost like instantaneously, it was like, this is what I need to do. I told my wife, I was like, I wish I would have started this 10 years ago, you know, got into this 10 years ago so that I could have built those relationships throughout the last decade. And so I joined Tyler's team at the time, and I was just over the moon excited. And as soon as I got into it, I've always been kind of a cold caller. You know, with the restaurant partners that we had for our delivery service, I was always calling into restaurants and pitching the idea to them. And I mean, I was trying to sell them a service essentially to grow their business. And it wasn't always easy. You know, a lot of people were kind of set in their restaurant ways, or they didn't understand the concept of what we were trying to do, or, you know, part of the way we made our money was commission on the food. And so we had to sell that to them and show it as a win-win. And so I did that all by cold calling people, cold calling restaurants, and we built up, you know, partnerships over 4 or 5 towns at various times, and we're running all across South Dakota. So I used those skills and I applied it to the real estate world, and it seemed to pay off pretty well.
Smiling down and making friends.
Yes, absolutely. This wing is hot. My mouth is burning.
Mild Buffalo.
I'm going to have some of this milk right now.
Get after the milk.
Thank you very much.
And then you can get after the next wing, which is Nashville Dry Rub. This is our favorite one just because it's just got a good base pepper heat to it. Really good flavor.
Oof. Okay, let's go.
So, well, I mean, you kind of got into my next question, but before real estate, you built a delivery company called ZipDash, serving 3 towns in South Dakota, years before DoorDash ever existed. How'd the idea come to you? And what did you learn from building a business besides cold calls?
Sure. So it wasn't originally my idea. It was my partner's idea at the time. I was going through school at SDSU for business econ, and so and music. A little bit of a checkered history there with my schooling, but I made it out alive, and I'm doing well now. So So he kind of approached me with the idea, and it seemed we were in Brookings, and Brookings is a great town for that. It has great restaurants.
Lazy kids that don't want to go to the restaurant.
Lazy kids that don't want to go to the restaurants. Easy to navigate. You can get anywhere in 5 minutes. It has the campus. So great restaurants, great industry. A lot of money floating around Brookings. So easy to support something like that. And then we got some financing, and we helped build it together and launch it. And it kind of went gangbusters. So after the first year and a half, we expanded into Watertown, and then we were in Aberdeen, and we briefly were in Mitchell. It didn't really go over as well as we'd hoped at that in that market, but yeah, we expanded into 3 or 4 towns at various times.
Crushing it before DoorDash was a thing.
Yep, absolutely.
How's the second wing?
It's pretty hot. It's burning my lips.
This one?
Yes.
Not a good sign.
It's not. Yeah, we have 4 more to go.
We do have a little bit more.
I cannot do this.
You might just want to put that one down.
Okay.
And get in the next one, which starts the heat a little bit. This next one is Hot Buffalo.
Okay.
Which again, great flavor to it. Atomic wings, awesome.
All right.
So you get after that one.
I'll try.
Okay. So again, we talked about your military service, but you've been serving in the South Dakota Army National Guard for over 17 years.
Yes.
Including a tour in Africa.
That's right.
How does that experience shape the way you serve clients as a real estate agent, and specifically to other veterans?
I love working with veterans. They're usually easy to communicate with me. For me, there's the thing I like about serving the Guard and working with military veterans is that, in real estate, there's always a wall up. Anytime I call, a new prospective client, or I'm trying to garner trust with a new client, like I will treat every single client the exact same, whether they're veteran or military or friends or family. I will always try to treat them the exact same. But with the military, I can immediately lower that barrier. There's a kinship that we have together that we can experience together. What post were you at? What's your military job? Where did you serve? Were you in Iraq or Afghanistan? And I get to tell my stories too, and it's something that I can relate with them that I don't think the average real estate agent can. And I'll treat them the same as any other client, but it is really easy to talk and communicate with a veteran about their experience, and then half the battle is just lowering their defenses so that I can show them, like, I'm here to help them regardless, whether you're a veteran or not. That's what I'm trying to do. It just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, just finding something to be able to relate to is 90% of sales anyway. Not that I don't think of real estate as sales. I think it is solving problems.
Yeah, right.
I need a house. Let me help you solve that problem.
Right.
You don't have to sell people. So
exactly.
Just being able to relate to them gets them to open up, though.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. We're here to help. You have a thing you're looking for, or a problem that you need solved, and we're here to help. And, even especially in our market, most of the buyers don't have to even pay commission. So most of the time for buyers, my services are free. So it's a very easy pitch, but sometimes you have to be able to lower the defense in order to make that pitch, and so I found that with veterans, it's a little bit easier, but yeah.
I pride myself on being able to talk to farmers. So
yeah, really? Yeah, farm experience?
Yeah. Grew up on a farm, can talk the talk. So
yeah, hay bales and such.
They hate bankers. Hate bankers. So being able to get them to open up is great.
What is their problem with bankers? I'm curious.
It's just privacy thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just no trust there.
Yeah.
Right.
None. Zero. How you doing? You seem to be doing great.
I'm okay. That one is a lot hotter than the last one, so I'm a little bit nervous about these 3.
Okay, the next one is the easiest, in my opinion. Mango habanero. It's like a sweeter one. You'll be just fine on it.
Okay.
But you want to get in on that. Again, super easy.
I feel like the mango is lowering my defenses. It's the sweeter. But
it is sweet.
It's gonna punch me right.
Honestly, I don't think this one is bad. I think you'll do it just fine.
All right.
So, as you mentioned, music background.
Yeah.
But most people don't know you sing in a choir.
Mm-hmm.
It's been said that your voice is like a cross between Fergie and Jesus. Any chance we can hear your favorite song quick?
Oh, wow. This put me on the spot. Okay. I'm more of a choral singer, like an aria type guy. That's kind of so let's see. Selve amiche, ombro se piante, Si dona vergo del mio cuore. Here's a little bit for you.
I did not think he was actually going to do that. That was fantastic, man.
Yeah, thanks. My passion was always music growing up. I always wanted to be a singer. I got to college. Yeah, I was starting to have some throat troubles, and I was clearing my throat, and there was issues with my vocal folds and stuff. And there was always I got to college where I should have been expanding my voice, and things were starting to shrink, and I couldn't perform like I used to, and I was always clearing my throat. And I came to find that I had like a fungal infection on my vocal folds. And so in my early years of college, where I'm spending all this money on classes, I'm starting to freak out about what I'm going to do. I always wanted to be a performer. That's always what I wanted to do. And so I ended up quitting the music department because I just thought it's so competitive. I was losing this talent that I always had. And so I started to jump to other things, but I didn't have a plan, so there was a lot of roller coaster in my college years because I just had no plan. Music was always my plan.
Sure.
And I came to find I was still having issues. I got that kind of cleared up, but I was still having issues even like a decade later. And I found out through Sanford that I had what is it called? Bowed vocal folds. So the muscles of your vocal folds, they're supposed to be flat like this.
Okay.
And mine, the muscles underneath had started to atrophy and they were starting to bow. So they didn't close all the way. So the sensation is like you always feel like you have to clear your throat or your voice would crack. When your voice is supposed to crack when you're like, in middle school, but mine was cracking when I was like 25.
Going through puberty at 25.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly. It was very embarrassing. It even does it still sometimes, but I got exercises to help me. And so now I sing in the South Dakota Symphony. I actually went back to SDSU and finished my degree. So now as vocal performance, but it was kind of too late. It was more of a passion project than anything else. It was too late to really jump into getting into opera. It was just too late to the game. But I, through shout out to Laura Diddle from SDSU. She was the choral director. She got me in touch with South Dakota Symphony director. So I sing with the South Dakota Symphony. And then he has a special project called Transept, which is a shout out to Transept. They're fantastic. They perform here locally, usually 3 times a year. And it's a professional choir. And so they'll bring people from all over the place to perform in this, group of 25, 30 people. And it's fun. I really
All I heard is anybody that buys a house with you gets a song.
it
At
comes with a
closing.
song, yes.
A house
An album.
costs money, but the song is free. So
Yeah, it does. Yes, if you use me, I will absolutely sing you a song.
write that down.
Write that down.
Okay. This is where it starts to get a little bit warmer.
Okay.
Atomic Wing is the next one.
Okay.
So get after it. And I forgot to tell you the rule on the last one, which is nuclear. You have to
Okay.
eat the entire wing.
Okay, all right.
So that's where it gets a little.
Is there an ambulance nearby?
There's a ambulance.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So Atomic is the next one. So, we haven't been working together that long.
Yeah.
But I love seeing how passionate you are about taking care of your clients. What actually gives you that competitive advantage as an agent? Is it how much you care about your clients? Or is it how much you sweat when you're eating wings? What is it?
I do care about my clients. I do sometimes get overly invested into things. I want things to go so well. Like that is my core. I just want things to go very well for them. I want it to be an easy process. I tell everybody that I work with and everyone around me that I treat, wow, that is hot. That is hot.
It does get aggressive.
What was the question?
What gives you that competitive advantage?
Sure. Always in my mind, I treat every transaction as if it was my own, and I think that kind of stabilizes me because I think it's really easy to get sort of flippant about issues with a house or not see it from their side of things or just try to want to solve problems, And I've had to deal with that this year alone where I've had difficult transactions because we are problem solvers. Like, so if there's a bump in the road, we're trying to figure out how to get past that right away. But even this year, I had one where I had to step back and realize my client was experiencing something. It was very stressful for them, and they were prone to stress. I mean, they were kind of I would say hesitant, a little jumpy about things. And when something happened that was kind of big, I was trying to get past the problem to solve it. And I had to step back and realize they need to feel their feelings about this for a second. They need a little bit of time and space. They had to talk to some family members and stuff. And so, like even after 3 or 4 years, I was starting to realize like I could see how people could get into the like, let's go. We need to figure this out. We need to get to the solution. But would I want that? Maybe I want to feel that in the moment. Maybe I want to have a little bit of anger or angst about it, or I do want to step back and evaluate the situation because it has become kind of stressful. And so I hold that as a core, is that I want to treat every transaction as if it's my own, because if I do that, then I should be treating it with the care and attention that a huge major life decision deserves. So,
And the longer you do this, the
Mhm.
more transactional it becomes.
Yes.
And you kind of lose touch with that, where,
yes,
especially with first time buyers, it's such a big deal for them.
It
They
is
have not
huge.
been through it.
it is huge.
I met with some clients last night and they just wanted to walk through every line item, and that was totally fine. And they're like,
Mhm.
this is the first time, we want to make sure it's right. So
Mhm.
it's exciting seeing you talk about it like that
Yes,
and seeing you get so emotional about those
Yeah.
clients.
absolutely. Yeah, I think we've both experienced it, like the transactional people in the industry, like be it lenders or be it agents, like you can got to get a sense that they're here for the dollar. They don't really care if something goes wrong. They don't want to deal with muss and fuss. And
Yep.
so I think the stress that comes with the job and the questions that clients have, and they want to have you help solve their problems. I think that's a blessing. It can feel like a curse sometimes, but it really is a blessing to be able to be that focal point for people, to help them solve their problems. Like, I think it's really easy to think, oh, this sucks, and some days I'm prone to that too. Like it's just like another thing, or it's 9 o'clock at night. It's just another thing,
Yeah.
But because we're in the position that we are in to help people out and to help deal with these transactions, these big life-changing events, I think that it truly is a blessing to be that person in that position.
Awesome. You're doing really well.
I am sweating off the side and back of my head right now.
It does look like you're crying just a
Yeah,
little bit.
I am crying on the inside.
Okay, so
Okay.
last one is nuclear. This is where it gets a little hotter. So be prepared for some milk and some water.
All right.
This one's pretty simple.
Then there it goes.
What's your favorite client story? In the 4 years you've been doing it, what story sticks out the most to you?
Wow, that's wow.
While you're thinking about it, you might want to have a little bit of that wing.
I don't know if I can think and eat this wing at the same time, to be honest.
Also, the AC is not working great in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you at home can't feel that, but I certainly can. Favorite client story. Okay, I got to take a bite of this.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. He's actually eating the whole last wing. Love it. Some people don't. Some.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Brian, this was a mistake.
Yep. It was nuclear is nuclear.
Okay. Okay.
It's that voice that sounds like Fergie and Jesus might be trouble after this.
Someone else is gonna have to sing at my funeral, so
Yep.
that might have to be you.
Yeah, you don't want it, but
boy, let's see here. There was during COVID, I had a couple of clients that moved all the way across country from Washington State. And, like it or not, I think one of the reasons why South Dakota is such a strong market and probably will continue to be a strong market is that we are sort of protected from some of the political turmoil that goes on in the globe,
Yep.
or in the United States. And so COVID was a major driver of people into the city of Sioux Falls and South Dakota in general. Like how fast did the twin and townhomes and apartments go up that year? People were moving here in droves, and just to try to get somewhere where there wasn't lockdowns, wasn't regulations and all that. And so I had some clients that came from Washington State that I really loved, and they were just really loving people and just very fun to be around. And they wanted to look. He was leaving his job at Boeing. He lived in Washington State, and they had just got pretty disgruntled about the political turmoil that had gone on. It was the year that the Chaz Chop situation went on in Seattle. That was the autonomous zone where they took over the downtown area of Seattle. not to get too political on the show, but I mean, it's just like, it's kind of a reality, you know, whether you like it or not, it's just a reality. And they were just, with the regulations of COVID and all the chaos that was going on in their city, they were done. And so he retired from his job at Boeing, and then they flew out here, and we were touring homes together, and we found them their perfect retirement home on the east side of Sioux Falls, in this very like slab on grade, just beautiful home, and they're just happy as can be, you know, living in the free state of South Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, and so I love stories like that. We get a lot of calls from places like even like Minnesota, where the tax burden is a lot higher, and people are looking at houses in South Dakota because there's no income tax. And so I like knowing that South Dakota is a place that is inviting, you know, that people want to come and call home, and it's safe and growing, and there's opportunity and a lot to do here. And I just, when I was a kid, I always wanted to escape South Dakota. You know, grew up in Brookings, and I just kind of wanted to get out there and see the world and move to California or something crazy like that. And now that I'm grown and have a family and have kids, there's literally nowhere else I'd want to live on earth.
Yeah, you can always travel, but this is a great place.
It is a great place to call home. So, yeah.
Hey, Dan. So thanks for coming.
Yes.
How do people get a hold of you if they want a free song and a house?
Sure. My number is 605-690-5692. You can email me at Dan Stratton at KW. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and just give me a call anytime.
And you will normally be less sweaty than you are right now.
I normally will be, yes.
Sweat's less
I'll
on
be
real estate.
20% less sweaty than I am right now. I promise you that.
Fantastic. You knocked it out of the park, man. First person to
Thanks.
sing on the show.
All right.
So
Thanks for having me.
thanks for coming, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.